Hello, learners. Again, welcome back to EnglishKul. We are here to complete our fluency journey, and we are in between to achieve this. As you know that we have taken the 100-day reading challenge to make our fluency a bit better, smooth, and confident yourself. So, as we are reading this book, Atomic Habit, and today is a 14th day of 100 day, and it's chapter 18. So before I start this chapter, I would like to again request you, my dear friends, if you found any suggestion, any difficulties, so anything, comment me below. Or I have shared my WhatsApp number in every video, that is 98739767739. Please message me on this video. I will share this number description as well so that we can connect together and try to improve our fluency in English with each other. Okay, as we know that in this era, or you can say in this world where we are living in India, so definitely English is a very most important language, and if you know this language very well, then you will be in top 10% successful people. I mean, you have very close to get rich if you are fluent in this language. So that's why we are trying to this. And about my journey, why I am following this, what I am doing in my daily job, daily activity. You can see my other video where I have mentioned everything. So, start chapter 18. The truth about talent when genes matter and when they don't. Many people are familiar with Michelle Phelps, who is widely considered to be one of the greatest athletes in history. Phelps has won more Olympic medals, and not only than any swimmer, but also more than any Olympia in any sport. Fewer people know the name Hisham Gior, but he was a fantastic athlete in his own right. Macron, a runner who holds two Olympic golds and is one of the greatest middle distance runners of all time. For many years, he held the world record in the mile, 1500 meters, and 2000 meters race at the Olympic Games in Athens, Greece in 2004. He won gold medal the 1500 meters and 1500 meters race. These two athletes are widely different in many ways, but most notably, they differ significantly in height. Uh, Gurage is 5 feet 9 inches tall. Phillips is 6 feet 4 inches tall. Despite this 7-inch difference in height, the, the two the two men are identical in one respect. Now, imagine if these world-class athletes were to switch sports, given his remarkable athleticism, could Michelle Phelps become an Olympic caliber distance runner with enough training? It's unlikely at peak fitness. Phelps with 194 pounds, which is 40% heavier than Garage, we call Garage, who completed at an ultralight 138 pounds. Similarly, Garage might be one of the best runner in history, but it's doubtful he would ever qualify for the Olympics as a swimmer. Since 1976, the average height of Olympic gold medalists in the men 1500 meter run is 5 feet 10 inches. In comparison, the average height of Olympic gold medalist in the men 100 meters freestyle swim is 6 feet 4 inches. Swimmers tend to be tall and have long backs and arms, which are ideal for pulling through the water. A garage would be at a severe disadvantage before he never touched the pool. Embarrassing this strategy requires the acceptance of the similar truth that people are born with different abilities. Some people don't like to discuss to fact. On this surface, your gen seems to be fixed, and it's no fun to talk about things you cannot control. Plus, phrases like biological determinism make it sound like certain individuals are destined for success and other doomed to failure. But this is a short-sighted view of the influence of genes of behavior. This is true not just for physical characterism but for mental ones as well. I am smart if you ask me about habits and human behavior, not so much when it comes to knitting, rocket propulsion of or a guitar chord. Competence is highly depends on the context. Let me check how many pages in this chapter so that we can read accordingly. Oh, this is high. The people at the top of any competitive field are not only well trained, they are also well suited to the task. And this is why, if you want to be truly great, selecting the right place to focus is crucial. In short, genes do not determine your destiny, they determine your dispatch, but they don't predetermine. The areas where you are genetically predisposed to success are the areas where habits are more likely to be satisfying. The key is to direct your effort towards areas that both exactly you and match your nature skill to align your ambition with your ability. The obvious question is, how do I figure out there the odds are in my favor? How do I identify the opportunities and habits that are right for me? The first place we will look for an answer is by understanding your personality. How your personality influences your habits. Your genes are operating benefits the surface of every habit. Indeed, beneath the surface of every behavior, genes have been shown to influence everything from the number of hours you spend watching television to your likelihood to marry or divorce to your tendency to get addicted to drugs, alcohol, or nicotine. There are strong genetic components to how obedient or rebellious you are when facing authority, how vulnerable or resilient you are to stressful events, how proactive or reactive you tend to be, and even how captivated or bored you feel during sensory experience, like attending a concert. As Robert Plomin, a behavioral genetics at King College in London, told me, it is now at the point where we have stopped testing to see if traits have a genetic components because we literally can find a single one that isn't influenced by our genes. All five characteristics have biological under, underpinnings. Extroversion, for instance, can be tracked from birth. If if scientists play a loud noise in the nursing ward, some babies turn towards it while others turn away. When the researchers tracked these children through life, they found that the babies who turned towards the noise were most likely to group up to be extroverts. Those who turned away were more likely to become introverts. People who are high in agribalance are kind, considerate, and warm. They also tend to have higher natural Oxytonic levels a hormone that plays an important role in social bonding, increase feelings of trust, and can act as a natural antidepressant. You can easily imagine how someone with more oxytonic might be inclined to build habits like writing thank you notes or organizing social events. Our habits are not solely determined by our personalities, but there is no doubt that urges under us in a certain direction. Our deeply rooted preference makes certain behaviors easier for some people than for others. You don't have to apologize for these differences or feel guilty about them, but you do have to work with them. A person who scores lower on uh, consi- consistencies, for example, will be less likely to be orderly by nature and may need to rely more heavily on environment design to stick with good habits. The takeaway is that you should build habits that work for your personality. People can get ripped working out like a bodybuilder, but if you prefer rock climbing or cycling or rowing, then shape your exercise habit around your interest. If your friend follows a low carb diet, but you find that low fat works for you, then more power to you. If you want to read a more, don't be embarrassed. If you prefer steamy romance novels or non-fiction, read whatever fascinates you. You don't have to build the habits everyone tells you to build. Choose the habit that best suits you, not the one that is most popular. There is there is a version of every habit that can bring you joy and satisfaction. Find it. Habits need to be enjoyable if they are going to stick. This is the core idea behind the fourth law. How to find a game where the odds are in your favor. Learning to play a game where the odds are in your favor is critical for maintaining motivation and feeling successful. In theory, you can enjoy almost everything. In practice, you are more likely to enjoy the things that comes easily to you. People who are talented in a particular area tend to be more competent at that task and are then praised for doing a good job. They stay energized because they are making progress where others have failed and because they get rewarded with better pay and bigger opportunities, which not only makes them happier but also propels them to produce even higher quality work. It's a virtual cycle. How do we pick the right habit? The first step is something we covered in the third law, make it easy. In many cases, when people pick up the wrong habit, it simply means they picked a habit that was too difficult. When a habit is easy, you are more likely to be successful. When you are successful, you are more likely to feel satisfied. However, there is another level of consider. In the long run, if you continue to advance and improve, any area can become challenging. At some point, you need to make sure you are playing the right game for your skill set. How do you figure that out? The most common approach is trial and error. Of course, there is a problem with the strategy. Life is short. You don't have time to try every career, date every eligible bachelor, or play every musical instrument. Thankfully, there is an effective way to manage this uh, conundrum, and it is known as the explore exploit trade-off. In the beginning of a new activity, there should be a period of exploration. In relationship, it's called dating. In college, it's called the liberal arts. In business, it's called split testing. The goal is to try out many possibilities, research a broad range of idea, and cast a wide net. After this initial period of exploration, shift your focus to the best solution you have found, but keep experimenting occasionally. The proper balance depends on whether you are winning or losing. If you are currently winning, you exploit. If you are currently losing, you continue to explore. The optimal approach also depends on how much time you have. If you have a lot of time, like someone at the beginning of their career, it makes a more sense of explore because once you find the right thing, you still have a good amount of time to exploit it. If you are pressed for time, say, as you come up on the deadline for a project, you should implement the best solution you have found so far and get some results. As you explore different options, there are a series of questions you can ask yourself to continually narrow in on the habits and areas that will most satisfying you. What feels like fun to me but work to others? The mark of whether you are made for a task is not whether you love it, but whether you can handle the pain of the task easier than most people. When are you enjoying yourself while others people complaining? The work that hurts you less than it hurts others in the work you were made to do. Where do I get greater returns than the average person? We are continually comparing ourselves to those around us, and a behavior is more likely to be satisfying when the comparison is in our favor. When I started writing at jamesclear.com, my email list grew very quickly. I wasn't quite sure what I was doing well, but I knew that results seemed to be coming faster for me than for some of my colleagues, which motivated me to keep writing. What comes naturally to me? For just a moment, ignore what you have been taught, ignore what society has told you, ignore what others expect you. Look inside yourself and ask, what feels natural to me? When have I felt alive? When have I felt like the real me? When have I felt alive? When have I felt like the real me? No internet, no internal judgment or people pleasing, no second guessing or self criticism, just feelings of engagement and enjoyment. Whenever you feel authentic and genuine, you are headed in the right direction. To be honest, some of this process is just just like Mitchell Phelps and George were lucky to be born with a rare set of abilities that are highly valued by society and to be placed in the ideal environment for those abilities. We all have limited time to this planet, and the truly great among us area the ones who not only work hard but also have the good fortune to be exposed to opportunities that favor us. If you can't find a game where the odds are stacked in your favor, create one. Scott Adams, the cartoonist behind Dilbert says everyone has at least a few areas in which they could be in the top 25% with some effort. In my case, I can draw better than most people, but I am hardly an artist. I am not any funnier than the average stand-up comedian who never make it big. But I am funnier than most people. The magic is that few people can draw well and write jokes. It's the combination of the two habits that makes what I do so rare. And when you add in my business a background, suddenly I had a topic that few cartoonists could hope to understand without living it. By combining your skills, you reduce the level of competition, of which makes it easier to stand out. You can shortcut to need for a generic advantage. A good player work hard to win the game every day, else is playing. A great a great player creates a new game that favors their strength and avoids their weakness. In college, I designed my own major biomathematics, which was a combination of physics, chemistry, biology, and anatomy. I wasn't smart enough to stand out among the top physics or biology majors, so I created my own game. And because it suited me, I was only taking the course I was interested in. Studying failed like a less or a score. It was also easier to avoid the trap of comparing myself to everyone else. After all, nobody else was taking the same combination of classes. So who could say if they were better or worse? Uh, Specialization is a powerful way to overcome the accident. The bad genetics, the more you master a specific skill, the harder it becomes for others to compete with you. Many bodybuilders are stronger than the average wrestler, but even a massive bodybuilder may lose at arm wrestling because the arm wrestling champ has a very specific strength. Even if you are not the most naturally gifted, you can often win by being the best in a very narrow category. Boiling water with Boiling water will soften a potato but harden an egg. You you can't control whether you are a potato or an egg, but you can decide to play a game where it's better to be hard or soft. If you can find a more favorable environment, you can transform the situation from one where the odds are against you with where they are in your favor. How to get the most out of your gen? Adjans do not eliminate the need for hard work. They clearly they tell us what to work hard on. Once we realize our strength, we know where to spend our time and energy. We know which type of opportunities to look for and which type of challenges to avoid. The better we understand our nature, the better our strategy can be. Furthermore, James can't make you successful. Be sure you are not doing the work. Yes, it's possible that the ripped trainer at the gym has better genes, but if you have not put in the same reps, it's impossible to say. If you have been dealt a better or worse genetic hand, until you work as hard as those you admire and don't explain away their success as luck. In summary, one of the best ways to ensure your habits remain satisfying over the long run is to pick behaviors that align with your personality and skills. Work hard on the things that comes easy. So guys, this was the end of the chapter 18, and here is the summary of this chapter. There are six bullet points. First, the secret of maximizing your odds of success is to choose the right field of competition. Second, pick the right habit and progress is easy. Pick the wrong habit and life is a struggle. Third, Gens cannot be easily changed, which means they provide a powerful advantage in favorable circumstances and a serious disadvantage in unfavorable circumstances. Fourth, habits are easier when they align or with your natural abilities. Choose the habit that best suits for you. Fifth, play a game that favors your strength. If you can find a game that favors you, create one. And last and sixth, games do not eliminate the need for hard work. They clearly it they tell us what to work hard on. So for the same, we have completed our chapter 19. So finally, I might be tomorrow or day after we will finish this book. So till the time, guys, be practice. If you need any kind of help to spoke someone, please message me on my WhatsApp number 98739 where I help you to speak to someone. You know, in India there are uh, situation very often situation that we do not have to talk to someone, so that's why I am here and I am requesting you, if you really want to improve your spoken, please message me. I am here to, or call me as well. First message, then call. I will here to help you and ready to talk to you in English. And for this activity, uh, we can both improve our fluency. So guys, uh, till the time, enjoy the holiday season. This is the Navratri. So, thank you guys. We practice.